don't think I can bear to narrate what might happen next.
The What If Season 2 finale was epic. The perfect closer for a really impressive season of What If. So we're going to break down all the Easter eggs, references, and little things you might have missed, and then a little later I'm going to talk about that final shot and its connection to Loki and Avengers Secret Wars. Welcome to ScreenCrush, I'm Colton Ogburn, and we open in 1602 following the events of the previous episode where Captain Carter traveled to a parallel universe to help stop an incursion, the destruction of a universe. We get a recap of this particular variant of Peggy and her history, and how her grief and loss of time and Steve Rogers could have consumed her and made her bitter, but her resilience kept her going the path of the hero. Unlike Doctor Strange Supreme, who lost not only the love of his life, Christine Palmer, but in the process of trying to bring her back, he destroyed his entire reality. And as we see in this episode, he's allowed that grief to consume him and deviate him from the heroic path that we're familiar with. So when Strange transforms Peggy's drink into something more modern, we hear her call him a lifesaver, and this simple expression actually has a few layers of references to it. It's not only a play on the fact that he was once a life-saving surgeon and in other realities a life-saving hero, but this particular Strange is burdened and corrupted by the fact that he couldn't save the life of Christine and then couldn't save the life of his universe. We hear Strange call Peggy a fellow guardian of the multiverse, a callback to their team up in the season 1 finale when they went up against Infinity Ultron.
It's a protection spell, you're welcome.
Wow, this is fantastic.
Just a refresher on Infinity Ultron, he's from a What If episode, What If Ultron 1. We see Ultron get into the body of Vision that was originally meant for him. He gets the 6 Infinity Stones from Thanos, and then he destroys every planet in his universe, becomes aware of the Watcher, and then starts destroying every universe in the multiverse, or at least he tries. But the Watcher decides to interfere, forms a team of Guardians of the Multiverse, they go up against Ultron, and they defeat him. So back to this episode. Strange takes Peggy to what he calls the Sanctum Infinitum, a play on the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it makes sense that this sanctum is called Infinitum, which means infinite and without end, because this place is huge and it has to do with the multiverse, which is of course theoretically infinite. Peggy sees that Strange has been collecting universe killers like Infinity Ultron within these orbs, similar to the one we saw Doctor Strange contain his Spider-Man spell within in No Way Home. And of course the one in the What If Season 1 finale where Killmonger and an AI of Arnim Zola were trapped in a battle for the Infinity Stones.
What are friends for?
A battle that we later learn in this episode that Killmonger must have won, but more on that in a bit. And you know, the interesting thing about What If is that...
Evergreen Tree, he lives right there.
Hey! Stop! Doug!
Dust in the wind.
Doug!
Yeah, what? What do you want? What?
Please stop changing the channel.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just there's never anything good to watch on this TV, even though I subscribe to so many streaming services.
Oh, well then you just need to use NordVPN. They're a partner for this video. If you want to watch like one of my favorite holiday movies, Lord of the Rings, it's not on the USA Netflix, but it is in Australia. So you can use NordVPN to change your IP address to that country. Boom, now you can watch whatever you want.
Boom. You looking for this?
I've been using NordVPN for 3 years now, and it's unbelievable how much time and money this app has saved me. For one, it's an incredible ad blocker, the only ad blocker I use. But also because of NordVPN, I was able to cancel almost every streaming service I subscribe to. No more doing a trial for a new service or renting the movie. You're already paying for the movie, but you just didn't know it. This is one of the many reasons I love having NordVPN as a sponsor for this video. They also offer threat protection, which protects you from malicious sites, downloads trackers, and intrusive ads. Like if you click on a suspicious attachment in your email, then threat protection deletes the download before it finishes, protecting your desktop from getting infected. So today we've got a special deal for our subscribers. If you go to nordvpn.com/screencrush or click the link in the description, you get a huge discount plus 4 bonus months for free, and you can take advantage of their 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, back to the Easter eggs. So here in these orbs, we've got Infinity Ultron, the gnome that we saw Doctor Strange Supreme absorb in the first season of What If. We've got Thanos with the full Infinity Gauntlet. I'm pretty sure this one is the Collector that we last saw in season 1 of What If, the episode where T'Challa becomes Star-Lord. We see that version of the Collector later in the episode, so that's my best guess. We've also got Rocket Raccoon with his own metal arm. We've got Kid Star-Lord from episode 2 of this season of What If. We've got Corvus Glaive, a member of Thanos' Black Order. And then we've got this this Hulk that we get a much better look at later in the episode, but I want to go ahead and talk about him now. This is Thulk, aka Thor Hulk. In the comics World War Hulks, we saw Thor get Hulk's gamma powers, transforming him into this giant blue lightning-powered being. And later in the episode, we see that this Hulk is clearly wearing Thor attire, and he's radiating lightning energy just like in the comics. And there are tons more characters to come, and we'll be breaking down all the multiversal variants that we saw later in this video. So when Strange and Peggy are talking, we hear Strange say,
And we both know the Watcher would never stoop so low as to intervene.
This is a dig at how the Watcher won't interfere in order to avoid further multiversal destruction. You can tell that Strange is still bitter about the fact that the Watcher would not help him save his universe. Here we hear Carter reference
Gremlins, aliens, Jurassic Park.
This is in reference to just how in the mainline MCU with Cap, Peggy has also been trying to catch up on movies that she missed out on. This is also something we touched on in episode 5, I believe it was, when we hear her make a Star Wars reference.
He winds up stuck in some prison frozen in carbonite.
Now, this is really cool. In this multiversal sanctum, we can see the Rotunda of Gateways, except this is a multiversal Rotunda of Gateways. In the Sanctum Sanctorum in the mainline MCU, it has many doorways to different places on Earth, but this sanctum has a rotunda that leads to different universes. So here on the walls of the sanctum, we see runes reminiscent of the runes that we saw in Doctor Strange's Mystic Arts shields, as well as his Forget Peter Parker spell at the end of No Way Home. We also see runes in Wanda's Hex and WandaVision. So it makes sense that we're seeing multiversal runes in this multiversal sanctum, runes that are likely holding the sanctum and its captors in place. So Peggy is looking for what she thinks is a multiversal threat in Cohorti, who we met in episode 6 this season. A native woman who has been infused with the power of the Tesseract, giving her super speed, the ability to generate spatial portals, and the ability to emit this cool blue energy from her hands. In that episode, we saw Doctor Strange Supreme arrive in the final moments of the episode, seemingly there to recruit Cohorti. Now, of course, we know that he was there to capture her and apparently failed.
Wait, Strange, why can't you just do this?
Because you, my friend, are an unknown. She'll see me coming a mile off.
In this universe, the Red Skull won.
The bomb at Project Rebirth packed a bigger bang in this universe. Neither you nor Steve Rogers survived.
Project Rebirth being the super soldier serum project that created Captain America and Captain Carter in their respective universes. Here we can see Red Skull's face carved into the mountain like the president's on Mount Rushmore. Now zipping through the snowy woods is Cohorti recreating the same vibes as Quicksilver at the start of Avengers Age of Ultron.
You didn't see that coming?
Cohorti reveals to Peggy that Strange is not only capturing multiversal villains, but multiversal heroes as well, so that he can feed them all to his forge and resurrect his universe, the universe that he destroyed by trying to resurrect Christine.
You're trying to bring back Christine, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
We hear Peggy plead with Strange to stop, and she calls what he's doing madness, a reference to Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness.
I have to do this.
But this is madness!
There it is!
Where we met another Strange who lost his way.
I'll let you use the Darkhold if you give me your Christine.
Here Strange says,
In the grand scheme of things, it's a small price to pay.
a callback to this line in Spider-Man No Way Home.
In the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means infinitely more than their lives.
So in order to stop Strange, we see Peggy throw her shield around the room, setting free all the multiversal heroes and villains that Strange had captured. And oh my god, were there a lot of characters here. So let's break them down. I already covered Thulk and some of the other characters that we saw in the opening of the episode, so we'll skip over those for this section. Now let's get started. All right, we've got Cowboy Loki, a reference to Loki 2019, issue 5. Loki is a cowboy now. We've got Happy Hogan as the Freak, which we saw in the Christmas episode of this season and in the 1602 episode. We see the Dragon from Shang-Chi that we also saw in episode 7 of this season. Here we've got a Star-Lord. We've got a member of the Chitauri, that's the alien army that the Avengers fought in the first Avengers movie. Here's Captain Marvel. Here we've got an Asgardian Kingsguard. Here we got some Skrulls. There's Korg. We've got Winwu and his soldiers, a Dark Elf from Thor the Dark World. And guys, I'm sure I missed a character here or two, so let me know if you spotted any I missed. I'd love to see what you found. And then actually a little later in the video, I spotted a few more. We'll talk about those here in a sec. So next came Zombie Scarlet Witch, who we first met in last season's What If Zombies, based of course on the comic run Marvel Zombies.
And now, the zombie apocalypse!
The last time we saw Zombie Wanda and her horde of zombie minions was in the What If Season 1 finale, where they were portaled in by Doctor Strange Supreme to help battle Infinity Ultron.
That'll keep him busy.
Oh, zombies, great idea. Love zombies.
It's not them. It's what came with the zombies.
And then Hela, the goddess of death herself, rolls in and says,
"Zombies! Sounds like my kind of party."
We also hear her say kneel, a callback to this line from Thor Ragnarok.
Kneel.
Cohorty says that the last queen that told her to kneel regretted it. This is a callback to her encounter with Queen Isabella in episode 6 of this season.
Me fue encomendada la tarea de gobernaros.
And as if things weren't already wild enough, we get Surtur.
I am Asgard's doom!
I love getting to see this rematch between Hela and Surtur, and the two recognizing one another.
You.
A callback to this encounter in Thor Ragnarok. Here, Cohorty and Peggy encounter Thanos with all 6 Infinity Stones, but he's then snapped away by Infinity Killmonger, who also has all 6 Infinity Stones. Killmonger snapping Thanos was reminiscent of Thanos' snap to dust half the universe, as well as Tony's snap that dusted Thanos in Endgame. And the reason Killmonger was seemingly able to do this without being severely injured like Tony was, is because Killmonger has the power of the heart-shaped herb, the power of the Black Panther. So when Thanos dusts, not only does he dust, but so do the 6 Infinity Stones that were in his possession. This is a callback to Thanos using the Infinity Stones' own power in Endgame to destroy those 6 Infinity Stones.
We use the stones to destroy the stones.
And I loved how Cohorty used her Space Stone given powers to manipulate the spatial energy and remove Killmonger from the suit. Very cool. Killmonger is then teleported into all the chaos, where we get a glimpse of Drax the Destroyer and 2 Thors going head to head or hammer to hammer.
Hammer time. Hammer time?
And then, as if Peggy Carter wasn't already awesome enough, we get to see her don the Infinity Stones and pieces of the Infinity Ultron armor.
Ah, fits like a glove.
That is, of course, a reference to the Infinity Gauntlet. Strange says to Carter that he's defeated that armor before, a callback to his one-on-one with Infinity Ultron in the Season 1 finale of What If. Peggy then throws her shield at him, and it hits him right in the head. This is, of course, a callback to this scene in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Carl?
We then see Strange use his mystic arts to duplicate himself, just like he did against Thanos in Avengers Infinity War, and then we see Peggy use the Reality Stone to do the same. We also saw Thanos use the Reality Stone to cast an illusion of himself in this scene from Infinity War, but getting to see Peggy use the stone to mimic the powers of Doctor Strange and give us an army of each character was really cool. When we get the shot of these butterflies, that's also a callback to Strange's battle with Thanos in Infinity War. Strange attempts to deceive Peggy by showing her the moments before she became Captain Carter and giving her time with Steve Rogers. We also see Dr. Erskine portrayed by Stanley Tucci, just like in Captain America: The First Avenger.
Agent Carter, wouldn't you be more comfortable in the booth?
When Peggy realizes that Strange is manipulating her, we see Steve Rogers begin to glitch, and we can see Strange Supreme behind the facade. Just like how in Star Wars Rebels, when Palpatine attempted to deceive Ezra with a lie and a promise of his old life. We saw him begin to glitch when Ezra was onto him, and within the glitch of Palpatine, we saw his true form of Darth Sidious. Here we can see Atarax amongst the multiversal captors being portaled into the Forge, and I loved how Peggy then utilized the Time Stone to reverse their freefall, to which Strange says,
I mastered that one a long time ago.
A callback to his pre-Infinity War days when he kept the Time Stone around his neck within the Eye of Agamotto. Here we see the multiversal variants start helping Peggy by throwing her their various weapons. Hela throws her infamous crown. Thor throws Mjolnir. Winwu throws the 10 rings. Here we can see what looks like a Wakandan spear. These are Drax's daggers. And here we can see Gamora's sword. We've actually got 2 of them. That looks like a Hawkeye arrow, and this one is one of Winwu's guards' weapons. We then see Strange begin to transform into the same beast that we saw in his What If Season 1 episode after having absorbed multiple dark beings from throughout the multiverse. Here we can see Captain Carter holding Odin's staff, going near. As Strange is now fully morphed into the Beast, we see his third eye just like we saw in Multiverse of Madness. He's also got this creepy little smile on his hand that gave me real Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth vibes. And this isn't an Easter egg, but I just wanted to talk about how awesome it was. Peggy catching all 6 Infinity Stones in her hand and then punching the monster was insane. Hands down one of the best moments in the MCU to me. We then get this cool shot of Strange literally fighting his inner demons, and I love this because even with all those monsters inside of Strange amplifying his grief, we have to remember that in that episode of What If, when Strange Supreme was collecting monsters, the Ancient One actually split his reality in 2. This created a variant of the exact same Doctor Strange, the only difference being that this one didn't go down the dark path of trying to resurrect Christine. Doctor Strange Supreme ended up absorbing that Doctor Strange, which is essentially his light side self. So while there are monsters within Strange Supreme pulling him into the darkness, the good Stephen Strange is in there as well, and it was him that was able to help defeat the monsters within. Here we get an amazing shot of the Watcher's realm, the nexus of all realities, a boundary between universes, which we also saw a version of in Multiverse of Madness. And then, oh my god, we got a shot of Yggdrasil, the Tree of Life, and the same multiversal tree that we saw created in the Loki Season 2 finale. And guys, getting to see the Watcher and Peggy Carter looking at this multiversal tree just gave me goosebumps, because for the first time in a while, the Marvel Cinematic Universe actually felt connected again. And that's weird that it took a show like What If that is largely disconnected from the main universe to actually bring that connectivity back to the franchise. So there are all the Easter eggs I caught in the season finale of What If Season 2. Let me know if I missed any down in the comments below, or you can @ me on Twitter. It's been a pleasure covering this season with you guys, and no worries, Ryan Aries should be out of the bathroom here shortly, and he'll be joining Doug and I back here at the counter.
I'm coming back.
And just a reminder to go to nordvpn.com/ScreenCrush or click the link in the description below. You can get yourself 4 bonus months for free and have a huge discount. Click our link and get your computer protected today. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Colton Ogburn.